So the tank just went immobile. I didn't know what happened. I just felt the huge explosion. Comms aren't working, no response, and then start to hear your crew members, the wails of pain.
You know, I'm seeing their, you know, missing limbs and whatnot, and I know I can't feel from my chest line down, so I'm thinking the lower half of my body's been blown off, and I'm just gonna wait and I'll be dead here in a few minutes because I'm gonna bleed out real quick.
And as I look and I rotate my leg over, I could see the instep of my boot is blown in. I'm like, oh. And then I rotate the other side, and on the outside, I can see the outside of my boot's blown open. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
You hit reverse, and then when that bomb went off, like, did you immediately take your foot off the accelerator? Like, what happened there?
So the tank just went immobile.
Immediately?
Like, immediately. Like, I have hand throttles, and like, I honestly thought we got hit from the top. I didn't know what happened. I just felt the huge explosion. You feel the little dust lingering around your head, and you don't know what happened, right? Comms aren't working, no response, and then you start to hear your crew members, the wails of pain.
Were you like looking around, trying, like, do you think did you like come to?
Yeah, like, I don't know how long it took me to actually recollect myself, but it took a minute, and I was just trying to figure out what happened, but our comms are not working.
Yeah.
The whole tank's not working. Throttles, nothing. And I just start hearing wails of pain. I don't know what's going on up in the turret because I'm down in the hole. Like, I can't see these guys. Yeah. And most of the time, because my back's to them the whole time. And it took a while. And then when I really actually kind of realized that we got hit, start hearing like commotion too. And he started climbing out of the turret.
The three of us were knocked unconscious in the turret.
I'm sure all of us were.
At least
Everybody
the three
was
of us
not.
were. I mean,
Were you unconscious from it?
Oh yeah.
So you came to after being unconscious?
Yeah.
Were you able to move or crawl out or anything like that at that point?
Well, I when I regained consciousness, it was to Mitch was pulling shrapnel and debris off me from the tank.
Mitch was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, I could look over my left shoulder and saw that his right leg was mangled.
Did you pull him out of the turret?
No. This took a long time.
Okay.
Because you know, we're still trying to get comms and stuff, and I'm looking over and seeing he's mangled. Looking behind me, and he's mangled and crumpled over.
You can see his legs?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and there's blood and fluid through, because it, you know, created a percussion dent in the bottom of the tank. So you got fluids from the bottom of the tank, just you're covered in fluids and blood. And
so like the tank's fluids.
The tank's fluids, correct.
Hydraulic fluid.
So you've got hydraulic fluid,
Just,
antifreeze, all kinds of crap getting all up into your wounds.
Yeah.
While you're sitting there with mangled knees, mangled legs.
And so initially, you know, I'm seeing their, you know, missing limbs and whatnot, and I know I can't feel from my chest line down, so I'm thinking the lower half of my body's been blown off, and I'm just gonna wait and I'll be dead here in a few minutes because lower half of I'm going to bleed out real quick.
Because you couldn't feel anything.
Right. And so I just was making a conscious decision to not look down.
Because you didn't want to see it?
I didn't want to see it.
Were you worried you would go into shock?
I just figured I'd bleed out.
Okay, you just didn't want to see it?
Yeah. It was more of, I'll be dead here in a few seconds if my lower extremities have been blown off as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a weird feeling because I'd never, you know, you're paralyzed and so at one point I did try and reach up and grab hold of the top of the tank and pull me up, and then I could feel like my neck and my back were broken.
Your neck and your back was broken?
Right. And so then it starts to set in. Oh, I know what's going on now.
So you were awake, but you're like, I can't move. I can't climb. I'm in so much searing pain.
And so at that point I told Mitch, I was like, get comms now. The radios are smoking. And we can't get comms with the second tank or anybody. And so that's when I instructed him to climb out of the tank and get us help.
And at this point, what
I'm
was...
still unconscious at this
You're
point.
unconscious still?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're conscious, right?
Yeah, I'm basically coming to, and what I'm hearing is him climbing out of the tank. And
you're like looking back, you can see him climbing out?
I couldn't see anything back there.
Oh, you could just hear him climbing out.
Yeah, I can hear. All I can do is hear what's going on up there. I can't see anything. I didn't know what had happened.
So you climbed out then?
I did.
Where did you run to?
I didn't run anywhere.
No.
Well, did you go? Was there somebody nearby where there's like they had comms or something?
When I came to, because the last thing I remember was looking over my tank commander's head, looking out one of the side periscopes, looking over the back deck of the tank, making sure that we weren't going to run over one of the Humvees as we're backing out. And then when I came to, I was on the ground in the turret, and your vision's like this. It's very narrow when you're waking up from a concussion. So I'm looking up and I'm looking at the back, what's called the stub-based deflector, which is part of the main cannon that catches the spent case of the main gun round.
Okay.
And I'm looking at that and I'm going, the hell? Like, I was confused. I'm like, why am I looking at this? Like, I had no recollection of looking at the back of the gun. Why am I looking at the back of the gun? Like, and then in my head, I'm like, oh, you're such an idiot. You got hit by the cannon. Because those two were talking about engaging a target, and then I must have been in the way, and the gun going off, and it hit me, and it hit me, and I was in the way. And then as my vision's coming back, I'm looking around and realize that no, it's not what happened, because the deflector's down here, the cannon's still up here. I'm on the ground on the turret, and
when that main gun goes off, it kicks back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
you thought maybe you'd gotten in the way of the main gun going off and got knocked out or something, but you're waking up and you're starting to piece together what had happened.
Right. As my vision expanded, I could see, okay, the stub-based deflector's down here, the cannon's still up here on here. I'm on the ground, and I look over, I realize that I'm buried in a bunch of debris and wreckage from our tank, and there was we call it the white gear. It's all this stuff that separates the gun and keeps it from hitting any of the crew members between myself, the tank commander, and the gunner.
Yeah. And
there's 50 cal cans from the commander's 250. There's ammo, and all this stuff's piled on top of me. And as I look over, there's stuff piled on top of those two as well. And I could see my tank commander, Chad, is slumped over on top of my gunner. And I'm like, oh crap. And he's literally like full body face planted on top of the gunner. And Joe, he's unconscious too at this time. He's face planted against his gunner's instrument panel in the gunner sight.
Were you concerned that they were dead immediately?
Absolutely. Because they weren't moving, they were unresponsive. I pulled myself.
And Chad was laying on Joey?
Yes, he was slumped on top of Joey.
So Joey sits right in front of me.
Okay.
I'm kind of in a standing position. He's in a seat. So we're
kind of like slumped over. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's on top of there. So I pulled myself out of the bottom, and I'm like, okay, I'll pull myself out. As I'm pulling myself out, I'm not feeling anything at this point. And I'm just, other than disorientation and confusion as to what's going on.
Yeah.
And as I'm pulling myself out of the bottom of the turret to go stand up, I'm like, I felt this incredible searing pain in my right leg. And I was like, okay, what the heck's going on there? What's that? So I sit down in the loader station, which is on the opposite side of the turret from where the tank commander and the gunner are. I sit down, and I'm looking down at my boot. I'm trying to figure out what's going on because I could see my boot, and I'm like, okay, something's off. Like something's not right. And as I look and I rotate my leg over, I could see the instep of my boot is blown in. I'm like, oh. And then I rotate the other side, and on the outside, I can see the outside of my boot's blown open. I'm like, oh, that's not good. And then I'm like, okay, well, so I pull my knee up to look at it, and I could see through the boot where the arch of my foot and my heel should have been. And I just put it back down. And I'm like, okay, just calm down. Just keep it together. Like, you're gonna need some stitches.
But yeah,
there's a giant hole in your boot.
It ended up being about a 19-centimeter hole through my boot, through where my arch of my foot and my heel should have been. Okay, check on those guys. Worry about that later. You're gonna need some stitches. It's fine. Calm down.
Yeah.
So I recompose myself, get myself up, and I start moving the debris off between that's blocking myself and my tank commander and my gunner. And as I get close, I get to Chad, and I try pulling him off Joe, and I realize I'm only using one arm. I'm like, okay, what's going on with that? And I look down, and my right hand's kind of hanging there. And I'm like, okay, well, now I'm going to investigate that. And I look down, and we wear these, the Nomex, like, flyers gloves.
Yeah.
Because that's just what we wear inside the tank, because it's flame resistant, no static, whatever stuff. I'm looking at my right glove, and it looks like Mickey Mouse hands. Like, the glove is inflated. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. And I could see my sleeve is all tattered. Like, it's like non-cleanly, like, torn apart.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's not good. And I could see, like, it's heavy, like it's dark color in the bottom of my sleeve. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna look. So I rotate my arm up and I pull my sleeve back, and my right forearm is blown open. And I had a 3+ inch section of my ulna blown off, and my radius is fractured. So my hand was just kind of hanging there. So I quickly just covered that back up, pull my sleeve over there, and I'm just like, okay.
At this point, you're still the only person awake.
I'm the only one.
You're experiencing this entire situation all by yourself.
I am. And as I'm doing this, I'm like putting myself calm. Joe starts moving, and he's still got Brumpton on him. He starts moving, like, oh, thank God. So I kick it back into gear. I go over to Brumpton. I one arm curl him off a low. I slump him back into his tank commander's position. As I do that, I can see his legs from the knees down, and his uniform, his coveralls were shredded just like my sleeve was, but in a much larger area from below his knees down to his ankles. And it was all covered in blood too. I'm like, oh crap. Like, he's hit too. As I initially, obviously think, oh crap, they're both they're non-responsive, non-related, they might be dead. And then it's like, he starts moving, okay, he's alive. And like, I move him out of the way and move Brumpton on there. I'm checking on him. I could still, I could see his chest heaving up. Okay, he's breathing.
Yeah.
His legs are shredded, but he's breathing.
But Chad was breathing.
But he's breathing, but he's unconscious. So I move him out of the way, and I go to Joe, and I'm checking on him, and he's just kind of like, when Brumpton got off him, he kind of sat back in his chair a little bit, and he's just sitting there, just kind of like he's doing the same thing I just did just a short time before, and he's processing, trying to figure out what's going on. And
Did you think like, oh man, we need to get some tourniquets on these dudes right now?
we didn't have any.
You didn't have any tourniquents?
No.
Not ready. Not readily available. No.
What did you guys do for his legs?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
It's just like a miracle that they probably put tourniquets on you as soon as you got on the bird then, huh?
Nope.
No.
So
the story keeps unfolding.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, these are questions I have. I think in my head, I think of that. I'm like, okay, serious leg wound. Let's get a tourniquet on there. But anyway, so he's moving around. You're the only one who's like really moving around because he can't move really.
Yep. So I check on him, and I ask him like, hey man, I'm messed up. Are you good?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, I think so.
You're asking Joey.
I'm asking Joey because
Okay.
I did a quick once over on him, and I didn't see any blood on him that wasn't coming from him.
Okay.
I didn't see any obvious injuries. I could see all of him. I could see his legs. I could see everything because I'm standing above him, off to the side.
Okay.
I just did a quick once over. I'm like, okay, man, you're good. Like, I'm like, we need to swap out because I'm not good.
Yeah.
And he was quick, like, yeah, man, we're good. And he makes a motion like he goes to like kick his legs off and move, and he goes, I think my legs are pinned. And I look down and I can see his legs they're sitting there. And I look at him, like, we don't say anything. I just look at him, and he looks at me, and just this quick realization I could see in his face because his entire expression changed because I can tell he felt it. He's like, my back hurts. Because he tried to get up, and that's probably when he felt his back. He tried to get up and move, and he realized that, oh, something's not wrong. And he just looks at me and goes, my back hurts. And I look at him, and I'm like, there goes completely dashes my hope of immediately getting some sort of assistance and aid in the situation where I'm in, because I know what condition I'm in. I know what condition my tank commander's in. I think he's dead because he was down on the ground in the hole. I have no idea because we have no communication with each other.
Yeah.
So in my head, I wrote him off as dead, which I hate to say, but it's like I just kind of bracing myself that the reality is because him being the driver, being closest to the ground.
And the tank was immobile, but it was still running.
Yeah.
It's still running.
It's still running, and you can't communicate in the tank when it's still running without comms.
Yeah.
So you don't have comms. The engine's still running, so there's still
There's still the world.
like a freaking jet turbine engine still running.
Right.
But the turret's got no power.
The engine was still functioning even after hitting an IED that blew up, that immobilized it.
Yeah.
And what did it do? Just throw the tracks off?
I don't know.
No, it blew off a road wheel. And
It blew a hole straight through the bottom of the tank.
Like in the
when
hole.
I finally was able to get back into it, I could see the ground from inside the tank.
I can show you pictures.